Hey folks, this is Rose from In Rose's Garden, and today we're going to make a simple Christmas necklace. Now we're going to use some coreana chain, and we're going to put this pretty little bell that I got from Bead Box Bargains on it. Well, the bell has a connector here, so we're going to make a clapper out of some clear crystals, but we're going to put some red and green ones up our chain so that we have some pretty decoration on it. So let's turn down and I'll show you what I mean. This is our pretty little bell, as I was saying. Bell as in B-E-L-L. But it also has a bail as in B-A-I-L. So anyway, what we're going to do is we're going to take these crystals right here, and we're going to hang them on our clapper here. Well, we're going to hang them on our bail as a clapper. So we're just going to wrap this up here. Now I could hang these on with a jump ring, but I think I'm going to try and just hardwire it on. We'll see how it works, because it is tucked up in there some, and I don't want to try and have problems as I go up here. See, it's curving the wire. I'm not sure we'll be able to do it without a jump ring. I'm hoping to, because I don't really want to put a jump ring on here because of where it's situated at. The way it is, it's going to have a, it's going to be, you're still going to be able to see our wires here. So we'll just see if we can just wrap this up in here. We'll clip this baby off. And tuck this in. Now we have to straighten this, because see, it has gone a little crooked as it was coming through all the wires and stuff. Oop. So there is our little clapper for our bell. And then we're going to feed for that one of our clamshells on this end. And then one of our little crimp tubes on. Now I've got my crimping pliers out. I'm going to use my regular crimping pliers rather than my magical clippers for these little guys. So we'll put our, oops, that wasn't kosher. I'm actually just going to put this on this end, and we'll just feed the clamshell on from the other side. So ordinarily I wouldn't do this, but since the clamshell came loose before we got that on, it's easier just to put it on from this side. See, it's on there now. Now we're going to push these two together. I'm going to take my pliers and make sure they're on tight. So there's one side done. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to feed these on with a, come on, a crimp bead, then a red, a spacer. These are washer spacers. Green, washer spacer, oops, dang it, now I've lost one. I'm going to have to find that or get a new one out. Red, and a crimp bead. Actually, we need 2 crimp beads because we're going to put, this one will be the bottom of the one. This makes it look like a sort of like an illusion because it stays put in the one spot rather than the beads rolling around. So now we'll put the next one on. Red, spacer, green, spacer, and red, and crimp bead. Come on, baby. Oops, fell off. So there's 2 sets for this side, and we'll have 2 sets for the other side. So the first, now we want to put our bell on. And then we, of course, will go crimp bead and just put the other 3 over on this side. So we'll just do the red, green, spacer, red, and obviously I'm missing one spacer now since I dropped one. And now we have the 2 crimp beads. One, come on. Well, this one doesn't want to go on. There we go. Now we have our 2 crimp beads on there, so it's red, green, red, red, spacer, green again. Now before I can go any further, I need to find another spacer. So here we are with a new spacer. and then the red, and a crimp bead. Ugh, wants to fall again. Okay, that crimp bead went on just fine. So let's make sure we have a crimp bead between both. We do. And we have 2 crimp beads here between these and 2 between these. And we have a top one. So now we're going to feed this clamshell on again to this side. And I'm going to grab one of these crimp beads with my crimp pliers. Feed my chain through and squish. Then I'm going to turn it and squish again. And now my crimp is in place. We'll bring our clamshell up, pull on it, make sure it's tight, and then push it together. Now that that's on, all our beads are on and all our clamshell is on. So now we just have to put on our hardware, and then we need to do all of our crimps up down here. So with this smaller one here, this is a medium oval jump ring. We're going to put on the lobster claw, which I have already checked to make sure it's working all right. And it can go on either side. It doesn't matter which side you put it on. Just make sure you go through both sides of the loops of your clamshell. So that's on that side. And then we need to do the same on the other side. Put the larger of our lobsters jump rings over here. Like I say, we need to go through both of the loops of our clamshell. That's what sort of keeps our clamshell from coming apart. It can't come apart because the jump ring's not going to allow it to. So there we are. Now, normally I'd say, okay, we're done. Well, we're not, because we have to set our little green and red beads here. We have to decide how far up we want them to be. One of these is on one side of the bell and the other's on the other side. We need it to go on both sides. So there we go. So now we want this to come up so that it's even down here. Now, incidentally, this is 18 inches of chain in case anybody is interested. So then we need to decide where we want our first set of beads to be. Say I want them right here, because that's even up here to here. And those are about in the same spot. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my regular crimping pliers. I'm going to grab hold of this little bead and decide about where I want it to be at. I'm going to put it... come back here, you. It doesn't just matter which side I decide I want to do first, but I do have to decide where I want it. So if I want it right here, then I want to get it in my crimping pliers, like so. I want to make sure I've got it where I want it at for the first set. And we'll crimp. And then we'll come back and we'll go into the top tooth and we'll push it down. So there's the first one in place. And then the first set of beads will go down to that tube, or bead, I should say. So now that is right here. So the one on the other side has to hit here as well. So we want to bring this down a little bit. We're going to get it in our teeth. It's not there. So we got to get it into our bell's teeth here. Where'd you go? Oh, you're back over here on this side. Okay. Now we want to get that into our first tooth. Come on, go there. I keep letting it slide out. Okay, now that I've got it set in there, I have to pull my pieces up again so they're even. And then I have to pull this one up so that I've got it approximately the same place as the other side. Which looks to be about right here. But again, I want to make sure that I'm pretty even here. And my lobster claw keeps twisting on me, so that's giving me some serious problems here. Okay, now this one is right here, so we're going to go right there. And I squished it together, and see how it made a little V here with the bottom one. Now I put that V sideways to the top one and squish it again. Nope, it didn't quite go. So we'll do that again just to make sure I get it good. There we go. It's better, but not perfect. There we go. Now it's good. Now let's see how close I got those to each other. They're a little off, but they're not, because see how this now is higher than it should have been. See, if I put the two together, they're fine. If I hold it right here where the lobster claw is at the base, then it's up a little higher. But I think obviously we're not going to do anything about it now because they're done. So now we're going to have to get this next one in. And we want to get it, like I say, in this second. It's in the first one. We don't want it in the first one. We want it in the second one. The one down here that has a tooth in the middle of it. And we want it to go all the way down to our other beads and then squish. Then it should have this V. See how it looks like a V because of the notch that's inside here? And then you go and turn that sideways, put it in the top one, and push it together. And there you go. So there's the first one set in place. Oh, that's the other side. It slid over there. So now we need to get the crimp from this one and bring it down. But I'm going to put it in my crimping pliers first. See how this one, the person that taught me how to do this calls this the kiss and the hug. The kiss looks like little lips. So you put your bead into the slot where the teeth are at. See how I've got it in the slot now? Push it all the way down to your beads and then squish. And now you should have a little V. And then take put it back in your pliers, but put it so that the V is sideways to your hug. And then push it down. And there you go. That's the other. So there's our first two in place. So, and now we got to do the other two. So I just have to decide about where I want them. How far up do I want it from the other one? This one, look, this about right here looks good. So I got to get my crimp bead inside my kiss. It's not in there right. It slid sideways. So we got to go in there, and we want it to sit up straight. Which it's not doing. It's sitting sideways, and we can't have it be doing that. It has to be straight in our kiss. Come here, you. Not way up there. Now you can always move it once you get it in place, but you do need to get it in place. Okay, now it is. Now I'm going to go down here, and I've decided about right here is where we want the second one. So I squish it. Now we have the V. And I put it in back in the pliers so the V is turned sideways and squish. Now that didn't quite go in quite straight, so my crimp is a little bit crooked. So I'm going to see if we can straighten it just a hair's breadth. Not that it's really going to show, because the beads are going to come down here and hit it. And it's a little higher than I had actually wanted it to be, but I think it's still all right. So now what we need to do is get the crimp for this one, and we got to get it in approximately this spot right here, so that it matches up pretty well with the other side. So we got to get our crimp in there. And we got to get them straight onto each other. And it looks about right there. Yep. Now we get hold of this again. It's not going to run away from you now because it's already crimped with the first one. So then we go in and squish the second one. Push the beads down. Beads go down. Come on, both sides. Beads go down. And now we have to do our two upper crimps. Untwist. There we go. Now this one, again, you go in to your crimp, get it into that where the V is at, slide it down, and crimp. Then you want to turn it and go into the upper one and crimp. So there's that one finished. Now we gotta push this one down, get this one in the V, just like so. Push. Now we've got the V. We have to turn it sideways into the hug part and get in there and push it together. And that didn't work. There we go. So there is the second one done, which in turn finishes off our necklace. So there is our little Christmas bell necklace with our red and green beads up here on the gold chain, our bell, and the crystal clapper on our bell. So there we go, all finished. Now, the hardest part to me is getting these two sides pretty well even to each other. And they look even right here, and they're even pretty even here. But I noticed that when I did this, see how this one side is a little longer than the other side. Now, if I wanted to, I could always cut this off right here. And I could even actually, in fact, maybe I will do that because I think this is long enough. I'm going to show you what to do if you want to have it perfectly even. Open this back up and set this aside. Then I'm going to put my fingernail in here and I'm going to spread my clamshell back out. Ta-da! So it can slide through. Now I'm going to take my clippers and I'm going to clip the end off. So now, if I put my clamshell back on, I can put it up a little higher so that they're even. See how it's still down there a little bit? I can bring this up so that these are even here. And I can get one of these little ones I put to the side. Get my crimping pliers. Grab that baby with the teeth part. See the part with the teeth? Then I slide this back in here. And now I have to decide where I want this particular baby to sit at. So I'm going to slide these on like this, and you can see I got about 1/4 of an inch extra right there. So I'm going to take hold of it right here. I'm going to put my coreana chain through that bead. Come on, baby. And I'm going to slide it down here and squish. Then I'll turn it and squish, and now our crimp bead is crimped. Now, because that's too much to fit in my clamshell, I'm going to cut a little bit more off. We'll bring the clamshell back up, push it back together, and now it should be a lot closer to the right spot. It's still longer than the other side, but not nearly as bad. See what I mean? It could have been even cut off just a little bit more. But I'm not going to worry about it anymore because we did cut probably 1/4 inch off as it was. So we'll put this jump ring back in place. Oops, got to get both. I only had one. There's both of them. And then grab the lobster claw again and close it back up. Now you could do this ending part that I just did. You didn't have to do them both at the beginning like I did. You can do one at the end and one at the beginning, or you can do them both after you get the other stuff on. I just prefer to do it this way because my beads aren't going to run away this way. So there's our little necklace all done. And as you can see, even though the clamshells are still not exactly right across from each other, they're closer now. But let's see how long it ended up being. And it's like, it looks like it's about 19 inches. So there we go. There's our sweet little Christmas bell earring. Isn't it pretty? I think it turned out very cute. With our little crystal clapper inside here. Pencil, get out of my way. There we go. So here we are. Here's our little Christmas bell necklace. Isn't it cute? It's got the little crystal clapper in our bell that we put on, and then the red and green beads up our gold coreana chain. And this can slide, so no hassle there, though it will stop, of course, at the beads as you get there. But There we go. Isn't that cute? And like I say, it's about 19 inches, so about right. Come here. There. So it makes for a nice, delicate little necklace. Hope you enjoyed making this with me. Nearly everything here was from Bead Box Bargains that I used to make this with, including the little beads here. I got those from there as well. So here we go. Again, this has been Rose from In Rose's Garden, and we'll see you later. Bye-bye.